Switch tayo sa Zoom. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends watching us live and virtually all over the Philippines and all over ASEAN, good morning. My name is RJ Ledesma and I am very honored and privileged to welcome everyone to the ASEAN SME Academy launch event. Adapt, Upskill, Excel, Building ASEAN SME's Resilience with ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. Again, a round of applause please to all the hardworking team behind the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. I'm so glad that after 2.5 years, I'm here to see again our friends supporting both trade and entrepreneurship, not just here in the Philippines, but all over ASEAN. Now, to all of our friends watching us live right now, all over ASEAN, the ASEAN SME Academy is an online learning platform which was built back in 2016 as a joint initiative of the US-ASEAN Business Council, also known as the USABC, the USAID, and the ASEAN under the ASEAN Coordinating Committee for Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises. It is currently being co-managed by our good friends, the USABC, and the ASEAN Coordinating Committee on Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises under the leadership of our good friends, the Philippines Department of Trade and Industry, Bureau of Small and Medium Enterprise and Development. Currently, the ASEAN SME Academy Online has free courses from 16 USABC members, whom we will get to meet later on, and 2 international organizations. Currently, our website has more than 9,500 users. So for those watching us right now live on Facebook, if you would like to visit our website, it is www.asean-sme-academy.org. Again, that's www.asean-sme.academy.org. Now, this pandemic has affected all of us, but like they say, in great crisis also lies great opportunity. So in 2021, this pandemic made the US-ASEAN Business Council aware of the need to upgrade and accelerate the ASEAN SME Academy website to become more inclusive and accommodating with our current challenges and our current opportunities. To further support the ASEAN SMEs through providing a world-class, inclusive, and resourceful online learning platform. So the USABC, together with USAID, has been conducting a redevelopment project since 2021, and today we will see its fruition. After 7 months, as the redevelopment project has neared its finalization, the ASEAN SME Academy will officially relaunch its updated version today. So again, one more round of applause, please, to all the hardworking members of our ASEAN SME Academy. For those of you watching us here right now, we are being live streamed simultaneously throughout the ASEAN region and also here in the Philippines through the Philippine Trade Training Center. Thank you again so much to our hosts here this morning. And as we begin this truly historic occasion for the ASEAN SME Academy, we are also joined both virtually and live by entrepreneur advocates all over the region. Of course, we will have right now the Secretary General of the ASEAN, Dato Lim Jock Hoy. We will also be joined by the Chair of the ASEAN Coordinating Committee on MSME, Secretary General, Dato Suryani Binti Dato Ahmad, our good friend, Presidential Advisor, Jose Joey Concepcion of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council Philippines. We have the Chargé d'Affaires at the U.S. Mission to the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, Ms. Kate Rebholz. We have Ambassador Ted Osius, President and CEO of the US-ASEAN Business Council, and Ambassador Michael Michalak, Senior Vice President and Regional Managing Director of the US-ASEAN Business Council. And later on, we will be very honored by the presence of Dr. Rafaelita Fita Aldaba, the Undersecretary for the Competitiveness and Innovation Group of the Philippine Department of Trade and Industry. We also invite our friends from the media to please join us for our press conference later this morning. Alongside that one, we will also have a dialogue with our partner companies, our multinationals helping us together with the ASEAN SME Academy. Now, to all of our friends watching us live streaming at home and all over the country and all over ASEAN, just a couple of reminders. First of all, please make sure to fill in the registration form provided on the chat box or scan the QR code that you see on screen right now. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Please fill in the registration form or scan the QR code on screen. You may also access the briefing book by accessing through the link provided in our chat box. Please feel free to ask questions through our chat box to our resource speakers here this morning. The organizers and speakers will respond respectively during their allotted time. Please include your name, institution, and country when asking your questions. And please do not forget to check out our revitalized ASEAN SME Academy website. Again, our website is www.asean-sme-academy.org. Again, that is www.asean-sme-academy.org. And with that, dear friends, fellow ASEAN members, please welcome our first dignitary for this morning. We have Dato Lim Jock Hoy of ASEAN, our Secretary General. Please give him a virtual round of applause.
Dr. Rafaelita Aldaba, Undersecretary for the Competitiveness and Innovation Group of the Department of Trade and Industry of the Philippines. Datu Suryani binti Datu Ahmad, Chair of the ASEAN Coordinating Committee on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Ms. Kate Rubble, Charge Affairs of the Missions of the United States to ASEAN. Ambassador Ted Oises, President and Chief Executive Officer of the US-ASEAN Business Council. Mr. Jose Concepcion, Chairman of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council of the Philippines. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, greetings from Jakarta. I am pleased to be able to deliver some remarks at the launch of the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. I appreciate the US-ASEAN Business Council for supporting MSMEs in ASEAN throughout this academy, as well as the series of capacity building and internships program by renowned members of the Council. Ladies and gentlemen, the ASEAN SME Academy has been a key regional initiative in providing valuable opportunities for the business community, especially MSME, to access digital skill and technology, transform their business models, and maintain their relevance as well as competitiveness in today's dynamic market. Since its launch in 2016, the Academy has successfully organized more than 90 courses in various fields of knowledge through e-learning platforms for thousands of business owners and employees in the region. In recognition of its positive impact, 17 organizations and multinational companies have joined efforts to contribute financial and technical support to this initiative. As a result of the disruptive impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as accelerated digital transformation, every business must continue to transform digitally to be more agile, resilient, and adapted to changes and developments in the market. In this regard, the launch of the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 today demonstrates ASEAN's commitment to support our business community in this endeavor, in line with the implementation of the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework and the Bandar Seri Begawan Roadmap on ASEAN Digital Transformation Agenda. Considering MSME are the backbone of the ASEAN's economy, the Academy is expected to provide updated and most relevant digital skills to help them better address major challenges encountered virtually by all businesses in digital transformation. I'm pleased to note that the Academy has been revamped to provide learners with a more structured, tailor-made, and interactive training modules in digital and e-commerce area. Some courses shall also be designed to adapt to localized interests with multilingual support considering the diversity of the ASEAN community. Most importantly, all courses should be free for MSME to access no matter who and where you are, or whether you are a large or small business. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, let me underscore that digitalization is a new power of growth and competitiveness for every business and every economy. As such, I believe that the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 will be the premier resource center for MSME in the region in their quest to recover stronger from the pandemic. I congratulate all parties behind the Academy for making this happen and commend the public-private partnership forged between ASEAN Coordinating Committee on MSME, spearheaded by the Philippines, and the US-ASEAN Business Council for championing this program. Allow me to convey my appreciation to the government of the United States for the support rendered throughout. Thank you, and I wish the launch a great success.
Salamat to our Secretary General of ASEAN, Dato Lim Jock Hoy, for the very warm welcome and support, continued support for the ASEAN SME Academy. As he did say in his opening remarks, thank you so much to the ASEAN SME Academy for helping transform, innovate, accelerate digital transformation among ASEAN MSMEs so they can effectively compete in the global economy and survive and thrive amidst the challenges of this new normal. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our next dignitary for this morning's event. Please welcome the Chair of the ASEAN Coordinating Committee on MSME, Secretary General, the Ministry of Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives of Malaysia, Dato Suryani binti Dato Ahmad.
Your Excellency Dr. Lim Jock Hoy, Secretary General of ASEAN, Dr. Rafaelita Aldaba, Undersecretary for the Competitiveness and Innovation Group of the Philippines Department of Trade and Industry, Ms. Kate Rebels, Chargé d'Affaires, the U.S. Mission to ASEAN, Ambassador Ted Osius, President and CEO, US-ASEAN Business Council, Mr. Jose Concepcion, ASEAN Business Advisory Council of the Philippines. Distinguished guests, good morning. It is my great pleasure to be joining in the event with you today. On behalf of the ASEAN Coordinating Committee on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, I would like to congratulate the Department of Trade and Industry of the Philippines as the country lead of this flagship initiative, the U.S. government through the U.S. Agency for International Development and the US-ASEAN Business Council for the incredible efforts in launching the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. In the face of this green pandemic, we can celebrate the acceleration of digital transformation, especially in business and learning environments. The compilation of enterprise policy responses to COVID-19 in ASEAN shows that ASEAN member states have made workforce training and digitalization as longer-term priority measures since the early stage. The crisis spurs the adoption of new ways of working and demands for new skill sets. Accordingly, the majority of AMS offered training programs targeted at upskilling and reskilling the workforce, particularly those white-collar workers. The ACCME strives to create globally competitive, resilient and innovative MSMEs, among others, through an online learning platform, namely the ASEAN SME Academy. Since 2016, The Academy has delivered more than 90 courses to almost 500,000 business owners and their employees, officials of government and non-government organizations, as well as students in the region. Considering the emerging issues and trends within the last 5 years, it is imperative to upgrade the Academy so that it stays relevant and be able to fulfill the evolving needs of MSMEs and their workforce. The ASEAN SME Academy 2.0, which was crafted based on clients' satisfaction feedback, training needs analysis, and in-depth focused discussion with the stakeholders, is expected to improve users' learning experience. A set of new and customized learning content on cash flow and revenue management, business continuity plan, and digital literacy and transformation will help MSMEs adapt to the new ways of doing business and recover stronger from the COVID-19 crisis. With the new features, the ASEAN SME Academy not only aims to be the premier e-learning platform for MSMEs in the region, but also serves as the foundation of continuous learning efforts for MSME development in ASEAN and provides a platform to pool and sustain outcomes of other capacity building initiatives such as the Go Digital ASEAN, digital skills to address the economic impact of COVID-19, enhancing digital economy participation for ASEAN women MSMEs, and ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network. Ladies and gentlemen, the public-private partnership model sustaining the ASEAN SME Academy since 2016 has proven practically beneficial for MSMEs as we acknowledge that the expertise and resources for human capital development often lie with the candid experience shared by the private sector and non-governmental organizations. On this note, I invite the participation and contribution from all in attendance here, both the public and private sectors, in particular the Council members of US-ABC, in cultivating the Academy as a self-reliant online learning platform for the ASEAN MSMEs. By offering a variety of interactive courses on diverse topics that are inclusive and freely accessible to MSMEs and the underprivileged, you will not only help propel the ASEAN economy but also improve education, welfare, and the general quality of the life of the ASEAN community in the long run. Following the launch of ASEAN SME Academy 2.0, the ACCME, US government, and US-ABC have planned for capacity building activities to promote the platform, thus widening its benefits. I hope that our paths will continue to cross as we join the ecosystem to deliver more value to the ASEAN SME Academy and support MSME development in ASEAN. The launch of ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 is a major milestone of MSME development in ASEAN, and I am honored to celebrate this achievement with you. Congratulations again to all involved in today's launch, and I wish the event a success. Thank you.
And thank you as well, Dato Suryani binti Dato Ahmad, for wishing the continued success of the ASEAN SME Academy. And we do look forward to it becoming the premium e-learning platform for all ASEAN MSMEs with this new reskilling and upskilling of our workforce and our MSMEs towards the new normal. Moving on quickly, I am very privileged and honored to welcome a good friend to Philippine MSMEs, the Presidential Advisor, Jose Maria Concepcion, and also the ASEAN Business Advisory Council, Philippines. Please welcome PA Joey Concepcion.
Thank you, RJ. First of all, I'd like to greet Ambassador Michael Macalak and, of course, USEC Pita Aldaba. As we launch the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0, as it will contribute greatly to raising the competitiveness of our SMEs in the region, the learning experience and access to resources and wider accessibility will truly help us rise from the pandemic and together push forward in the development of the region. We in ASEAN BAC continue to do our part to contribute to the capacity building and digitalization among our SMEs in the region. Providing learning tools for SMEs remains a key advocacy. In this regard, we continue to expand and sustain AMEN, or ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurship Network, a legacy project during my ASEAN chairmanship. We plan to push this across ASEAN, and hopefully, as we started this way back in 2017, I'm happy to share that this will be piloted this year. Mentoring, along with money and market, form the pillars of our advocacy. Under the mentoring pillar, we are developing programs that will teach SMEs important skills such as basic risk management, green and sustainable business, and the future of digital work. We will also familiarize our SMEs with the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Our other two pillars, money and market, provide the relevant capacity building platforms to help support the development of SMEs. Under the money or capital pillar, we develop strategies and action plans to establish the following: a credit ecosystem, transition financing for circular economy, and fintech for digital startups. On the markets or access to markets pillar, we strongly support the utilization of ASEAN Access Match portal and the identifying of linkages and opportunities in the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. I believe SMEs will be key in economic recovery of our countries. In the Philippines, we found that the teamwork between the public and private sector are key in building battling the pandemic. It is what enabled us to maximize the use of vaccines when supply was scarce and helped our economy keep afloat even when we were locked down to stem the spread of the virus. I believe this public and private sector cooperation will also be indispensable as we start on the road of economic recovery. ASEAN Business Advisory Council Philippines has been a forefront in saving lives and livelihoods, especially for SMEs or MSMEs, as other highly vulnerable sectors of our society. With hope, we and our neighbors in ASEAN will this year see the light at the end of the tunnel. SMEs have been borne the brunt of this pandemic, and unfairly so because they have the least resources to weather lockdowns and recapitalize. We have to give it to our SMEs the means to bear these calamities. As we recover in the opportune time to look into other strategic areas for SMEs to put us back on a sustainable growth, back on track. Thank you.
Again, thank you so much, PA Joey Concepcion. Another round of applause, please. And for those of us based here in the Philippines, we are very thankful again to the efforts of Mr. Joey Concepcion and the Philippine Center for Entrepreneurship, or Go Negosyo, for supporting the growth of our local MSMEs and for his initiative to develop AMEN, or the ASEAN Network for Entrepreneurs all over the region, helping support capacity building and digital transformation for MSMEs ASEAN-wide. Moving on, we would like to welcome our good friends from the U.S. Embassy, the Chargé d'Affaires at the U.S. Mission to the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Please welcome Ms. Kate Rebholz.
Secretary General Dato Lim Jakoy, Undersecretary Rafaelita Aldaba, Secretary General Dato Suryani Binti Dato Ahmad, Mission Director Steve Olive, Jose Ma A Concepcion, Ambassador Ted Osius, Ambassador Mike Michalik, the Philippines Trade Training Center and Department of Trade and Industry colleagues, and other distinguished speakers and participants. Good morning to you all. I am pleased to be with you today on behalf of the U.S. Mission to ASEAN. I want to first thank the US-ASEAN Business Council, USABC, for convening this event to launch the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. I wish that I could be there in person to congratulate you all. You may recall that our 8-year cooperation with USABC and ASEAN included the successful launch of the US-ASEAN Business Alliance for Competitive Small and Medium Enterprises, a precursor to the 2016 version of the ASEAN SME Academy. Building on this success, and in line with the Biden-Harris administration's commitment to enhance ASEAN-US engagement, we are pleased to expand our long-standing cooperation with ASEAN and the US-ASEAN Business Council to launch a revamped ASEAN SME Academy initiative. This collaborative effort represents a legacy of our enduring commitment in promoting the shared goals of the US-ASEAN strategic partnership. As you know, the United States is committed to supporting ASEAN's response to and recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. We view assisting small and medium-sized businesses with special attention on women-owned small businesses as a critical part of this recovery process. I am sure you already know that small and medium-sized businesses form the backbone of the ASEAN economy. These businesses account for more than 90% of total businesses across ASEAN and more than half of total employment in all 10 member states. They contribute between 30 to 50% of each member state's GDP. They also support income and employment generation and can be a critical source of empowerment for women, youth, and rural populations. As a result, these small and medium-sized enterprises boost competitiveness and drive inclusive economic growth. SMEs have been hit hardest during the COVID-19 pandemic. They have faced constraints accessing capital, restricted capacity for future investments, and limited resources to train and reskill employees, among other challenges. SMEs in sectors most impacted by the pandemic, such as travel and hospitality, have fought to stay afloat. Prior to 2020, the Academy provided online training that served more than 6,500 micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, new registrations have increased by more than 400%, and the Academy now serves more than 9,850 active users and about 472,000 online visitors. We need to respond to this huge increase with revisions to our training to create resources that are accessible, easy to understand, and applicable to the current environment. Providing support to small and medium-sized businesses across ASEAN to help them survive, recover, and thrive is one of the highest priorities of the Biden-Harris administration. The Indo-Pacific strategy of the United States underscores our commitment to the prosperity and resilience of the region. The U.S. government, through support from the U.S. Agency for International Development, proudly initiated the ASEAN SME Academy with our partners in 2016. And now we are proud to launch the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 with our partners. The transformed academy will reach businesses across all 10 member states, provide increased accessibility for users, and offer new content. The ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 is an opportunity to drive regional prosperity by supporting thousands of small and medium-sized businesses across the ASEAN region as they recover from the global pandemic. In closing, on behalf of the U.S. mission to ASEAN, I want to thank the Philippines Department of Trade and Industry, the Philippines Trade Training Center, ASEAN Coordinating Committee on MSMEs, the ASEAN Secretariat, and the US-ASEAN Business Council. I wish you all a successful launch of the ASEAN Academy 2.0 and look forward to hearing about its successful impact in the future. Thank you.
And thank you as well, Charge d'Affaires Kate Rebholz, for again affirming the strategic partnership and the shared goals of ASEAN and the US in supporting our MSMEs, especially our women-owned MSMEs and our MSMEs, which form 90% of the backbone of our businesses, to support and to thrive amidst the COVID-19 global pandemic. We look forward to a long and truly harmonious partnership. With that, may I please welcome right now the President and CEO of the US-ASEAN Business Council for a few words. Please welcome His Excellency Ambassador Ted Osius.
Good morning, everyone, and greetings from the United States. I'm delighted to welcome you to the launch event of our new and improved ASEAN SME Academy. I'd like to acknowledge and welcome Secretary General Lim Jak-hoi of ASEAN, Dato Suryani, Chair of the ASEAN Coordinating Committee of MSMEs, or ASCME, Dr. Rafaelita Aldaba, Undersecretary for the Competitiveness and Innovation Group of the Philippine Department of Trade and Industry, Ms. Nelly De Lara, Executive Director of the Philippines Trade Training Center, Mr. Joey Concepcion, ASEAN BAC of the Philippines, Philippine Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship and founder of Go Negocio Philippines, Chargé d'Affaires Kate Rebholz of the U.S. Mission to ASEAN, and Mr. Stephen Olive, Mission Director for the Regional Development Mission for Asia, USAID. For background, the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 is a public-private partnership between the U.S. private sector, United States government, and ASEAN to help empower small businesses in Southeast Asia. We have been working on this in lockstep with ASCME, represented today by the Philippines Department of Trade and Industry and Philippine Trade and Training Center. Since its inception in 2016, the ASEAN SME Academy has helped more than 9,800 SMEs by providing free access to top-notch courses from our member companies. During the COVID-19 pandemic, it became clear that small businesses needed to adapt to survive the pandemic's unprecedented challenges. To help address this problem, in 2021, we focused on building a one-stop virtual learning platform to maximize our impact and support ASEAN's comprehensive recovery. We all agree that SMEs are the backbone of the region's economy, and we thank our member companies, Meta, Google, AWS, SAP, and Visa, as well as our partner, USAID, for their support. Today marks a new beginning for the ASEAN SME Academy. We are thrilled to present a world-class, user-friendly, and attractive platform that features content in 3 new ASEAN languages. Those are Bahasa Indonesia, Thai, and Vietnamese. A new visual design and mobile accessibility, key resources and certifications for SMEs, and a curated COVID-19 module tab led by our partner USAID in Q3 of 2022. These features will help ASEAN's small businesses excel in an increasingly digital era. I encourage you to register and experience the Academy for yourself. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Council's Senior Vice President and Regional Managing Director, Ambassador Michael Mihalik, who has been supervising this project since its inception in 2016. Ambassador Mihalik is joining us directly from Manila, and I would now like to invite him to make some brief remarks. Ambassador Mihalik, the floor is yours.
And again, just please allow me to reintroduce him, our Senior Vice President and Regional Managing Director of the US-ASEAN Business Council, Ambassador Michael Mihalik. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
Thank you, Ambassador Oshis, and thank you, RJ, very much. Good morning, and welcome again to everyone who's joining the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 launch event. Allow me also to extend my greetings towards Secretary General Lim Jak-hoi of ASEAN, Dato Suryani, Chairman of ACCME. I'm not going to go through all of the Coordinating Committee. ACCME is just fine. Also, Dr. Rafaelita Fita M. Albada, the Undersecretary for Competitiveness and Innovation Group of the Philippine Department of Trade and Industry, Ms. Nelly Nita L. De Lara, the Executive Director of the Philippines Trade and Training Center, Mr. Joey Concepcion, ASEAN-backed Philippines, the Chargé d'Affaires Kate Rebholz of the U.S. Mission to ASEAN, and Mr. Stephen G. Olive, the Mission Director for the Regional Development Mission for Asia, USAID. I'm truly honored to be here today and to join this launch event here in Manila in person. It's been 6 years since we first launched the ASEAN SME Academy website in 2016, and it's been 2.5 long years since I've last visited this great country of the Philippines. And today, we are ready to embark on a new beginning with the next phase of development for the website. I'm proud to be part of this event to present to you the upgraded ASEAN SME Academy. Empowering ASEAN SMEs has been a long-time commitment which the US-ABC and its member companies made to the ASEAN economic ministers back in 2011. We're very pleased to be part of this exciting journey to create an impactful platform for small businesses here in ASEAN. Since that beginning 10 years ago, the US-ABC SME program has benefited more than 20,000 SMEs across the region through our in-country training programs and our online earning platform, the ASEAN SME Academy. Our aim is to produce a concrete, hands-on project and provide an impactful capacity-building program. Upskilling has become an essential part of the skills necessary to keep ASEAN SME businesses afloat and be even more competitive in the digital age. As Ambassador Osius previously mentioned, we've been working together with our partners for the past year to create a world-class, inclusive, and resourceful online learning platform for ASEAN SMEs. We're grateful to receive the continuous support of ACCMSME and our partner, the Philippine Department of Trade and Industry and the Philippines Trade and Training Center. And we very much value their partnership in administering the ASEAN SME Academy. I would also like to acknowledge our long-term relationship with USAID, which has also partnered with us to make this vision come to life. In the near future, USAID will launch its curated curriculum in the ASEAN SME Academy to help SMEs in the region recover from the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. Today, we are excited to present the fresh, upgraded ASEAN SME Academy. Later, you'll hear from the USABC Manager for SME Initiatives, Nugrahini Utami, who will introduce the platform and show you how to use it by registering yourself and enrolling in courses. We will also invite our member companies, AWS and Visa, who are joining the dialogue today, to share with you their courses and exciting initiatives to support SMEs in ASEAN. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today and to continue to please support the ASEAN SME Academy. And I would like now to turn the stage back to our immensely popular host, RJ Ledesma. Over to you, RJ.
Again, thank you so much, Ambassador, for the past 2 years of shepherding the redevelopment of our ASEAN SME Academy. We are actually, with all the build-up from both ambassadors, we are very excited to see the actual workings of the website. So for all of you watching live streaming right now from your own Facebook pages, please stay tuned. We're about to launch the website. And if you would like to check it out, please again visit www.asean-sme-academy.org. And with that, dear friends, on behalf of the Department of Trade and Industry, I am very privileged to welcome our next speaker. Our next speaker is the Undersecretary for Competitiveness and Innovation of the Department of Trade and Industry. She fulfills a key role in the formulation and implementation of the Inclusive Innovation Industrial Strategy, which puts innovation at the heart of the Philippines' new industrial policy. She is leading DTI's initiatives in preparing industries for the fourth industrial revolution and digital transformation by establishing regional inclusive innovation centers and growing a truly robust startup ecosystem in the country. She is also a member of the Board of Governors of the Philippine Board of Investments. Please welcome Undersecretary Fita Aldaba.
much, RJ. ASEAN Secretary General Dato Lim Jokoy, His Excellency Ambassador Ted Osius, President and CEO of the US-ASEAN Business Council, Ambassador Michael Michalak, Senior Vice President and Regional Managing Director of the US Business Council, Ms. Kate Rebholz, Chargé d'Affaires at the U.S. Mission to the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, Secretary General Datu Suryani binti Datu Ahmad of the Ministry of Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives of Malaysia and Chair of ASEAN Coordinating Committee on MSME, Dr. Steve G. Olive, Mission Director for the Regional Development Mission for Asia of the USAID, Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, Mr. Jose Maria Concepcion III, Executive Director Nelly Nita De Liera of the PTTC, friends in the ASEAN community, colleagues in Philippine government, entrepreneurs and industry partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant and warm morning to all. I would like to extend our sincerest appreciation to the US-ASEAN Business Council for the opportunity to deliver today's keynote message on behalf of Secretary Ramon M. Lopez. I would like to highlight the need for ASEAN MSMEs to embrace digital transformation and innovation in order to accelerate a broader economic recovery and achieve a more inclusive and sustainable post-pandemic future in the ASEAN region. MSMEs are the backbone of ASEAN economies. According to the Asian Development Bank, there are at least 71 million MSMEs in Southeast Asia, accounting for 97% of all businesses in the region and contributing 67% to ASEAN total national labor force from 2010 to 2019. MSMEs comprise 40.5% on the average of each ASEAN country's GDP or gross domestic product and 19.2% share to the total ASEAN export value in 2020. If we look closely, 61 to 89% of our MSMEs in the region are in services, particularly wholesale and retail trade businesses, while 72 to 85% of MSMEs operate in the rural areas. As we all know, MSMEs were the hardest hit during the economic recession arising from the pandemic. Based on a survey conducted by the ADB among selected ASEAN countries, the major challenges that MSMEs encountered during the pandemic are as follows. First was the intermittent opening and closure of businesses due to restrictions being imposed by governments to curb the pandemic. Full stoppage of operations meant zero income for our MSMEs, which were already financially distressed. Second, such restrictions also halted economic activities, resulting in reduced domestic demand, which was aggravated by the overall deterioration of consumer and business confidence due to the pandemic-induced uncertainty. Third, MSMEs had to cut back production and service delivery due to domestic and global value chain disruptions, disabling them to source inputs from suppliers and reach customers on time. Fourth, the uncertain business environment also resulted in the cancellation of contracts with their suppliers and customers. And finally, the global economic recession affected MSME exporters, especially those in economies which are highly intertwined with international trade. However, these changes in the global and regional business environment due to the pandemic have paved the way for an accelerated shift to the digital economy. according to the World Economic Forum, 84% of companies globally accelerated the digitalization of work processes using digital tools. But at the same time, according to McKinsey, 44% of companies worldwide reported that they have experienced skills gaps, as the current workforce lacks the necessary digital skills to thrive in the digital economy. Nonetheless, in ASEAN, 88% of the digitally enabled MSMEs reported that through digital platforms, they were able to reach more customers. This is driven by ASEAN's large consumer base with high penetration in the internet economy. According to HKTDC research, 60% of people in ASEAN are already online and spending more time on the internet since the pandemic began. As a result, according to Google, Temasek, and Bain & Company, ASEAN's e-commerce value has expanded 6 times in just 4 years, from $9.5 billion in 2016 to $55.2 billion in 2020. Adoption of new technologies like artificial intelligence is also expected to contribute to the Southeast Asian economy by $1 trillion by 2030. New technologies are changing the way goods and services are being produced and consumed, and this can create tremendous advantages to our MSMEs. Digital trade allows MSMEs to bring their products and services to a larger customer base, whether domestic or global, and thus increase their scale, scope, and speed of trade. SME participation in digital platforms also allow them to access digital professional services beyond borders to cater to their complex needs in different business areas. And in the Philippines, a core strategic action of our industrial policy is to develop innovative MSMEs by preparing them for the entry of new technologies and equipping them with the right tools, mindset, and resources to take advantage of the opportunities in the digital economy. In partnership with the US-ASEAN Business Council and the USAID, one important initiative is the ASEAN SME Academy, a one-stop shop multi-platform online training and information resource which aims to provide training and mentorship to enhance ASEAN SMEs' capabilities to grow and compete regionally and internationally. And based on a technology utilization survey that we recently conducted, the primary barriers to the adoption of Industry 4.0 among MSMEs include the lack of financial capability and unfamiliarity on how to implement the fourth industrial revolution technologies, and the lack of skills, knowledge, and expertise to plan and implement their digital transformation strategies. And with the enhanced features and functionalities of the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0, the platform could help tremendously in helping MSMEs shift to the fourth industrial revolution. Workforce development is vital to engaging agile working modes and maximizing power of digital transformation. Training, reskilling, and upskilling keep the workforce prepared and optimized in a fourth industrial revolution environment. The ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 ensures that we continue to embrace a people-centered digital transformation through customized entrepreneurial training courses and platforms for business linkages and networking. The new world-class, user-friendly features of the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0, which include more localized courses on a variety of topics, a multi-language support feature, new visual and mobile-friendly interface, top online resources for MSMEs, and self-certifications will surely enhance the Academy's services and offer a more dynamic training experience for our MSMEs. ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 could help facilitate the digital transformation of MSMEs and accelerate a broader economic recovery to achieve a more inclusive and sustainable post-pandemic future in the ASEAN region. Thank you very much once again, and congratulations on the successful launch of the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0.
And again, always very thankful to our Department of Trade and Industry for supporting the ASEAN SME Academy. And of course, with that one, we're very thankful that right now with the ASEAN SME Academy, we will be able to address the skills gap needed for a true digital transformation of our MSMEs, to accelerate them, make them more inclusive, and to be able to support a new normal moving forward amidst this global pandemic. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. We are very excited to finally launch ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. Are you all excited watching here right now? Let's give a round of applause, please, if you're all excited to find out more about the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. With that, may I please welcome back on stage to officially launch our ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. We have, of course, Ambassador Michael Michalak, Senior Vice President and Regional Managing Director of the US-ASEAN Business Council, joined by Dr. Fita Aldaba, our Undersecretary for the Competitiveness and Innovation Group of the Philippine Department of Trade and Industry, alongside our host for this morning, Ms. Nelly Nita Diliera, Executive Director of the Philippine Trade Training Center. And joining us virtually, we have the Mission Director for the Regional Development Mission for Asia, U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, Mr. Stephen G. Olive, PhD, and the Assistant Director of the Enterprise and Stakeholders Engagement, AEC Department, the ASEAN Secretariat, Penchan Manawan Nikchkul. And with that, may I please invite our dignitaries to please approach our button to launch. And of course, Dr. Olive, Ms. Penchan, you can pretend to be reaching out as well, that you're about to press the button here as well. Thank you so much. And all smiles, please, as we officially launch the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And with that, the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 has been officially launched here in the Philippines and ASEAN and to the rest of the world. Congratulations to the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0
ASEAN
team.
SME Academy 2.0. Available across all devices, including mobile phones and tablets. And enroll in courses which are most relevant to ASEAN MSMEs in 3 local languages at their own time and pace. Ability to access a robust collection of content, including webinars, written content, and podcasts. A curated module tab for COVID-19 recovery that will provide extensive resources and curriculum to help ASEAN MSMEs, allowing learners to interact with each other and with ASEAN SME facilitators through the community feature. Ability to collect their own certifications from the platform, and a chance to share their ASEAN SME Academy experience with their own network. Go visit and enroll now to the ASEANSMEAcademy.org.
And with that, the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 has been officially launched. And for all those watching us virtually right now, if you would like to visit our relaunched ASEAN SME Academy 2.0, please visit our website. Again, the website to visit is www.asean-sme-academy.org. Again, that is www.asean-sme-academy.org. With that, we will be having a press conference right now together with Ambassador Michalak and Dr. Aldaba to join us if you'd like to learn more about the ASEAN SME Academy. To our friends from the press, please do join us in our press conference room. In the meantime, we will continue with our discussion here right now as to the expanded and updated services of the ASEAN SME Academies together with our partner companies in the ASEAN SME Academy this morning. And with that, if you'd like to find out more about the ASEAN SME Academy, please do stay tuned. We will be talking about upskilling and reskilling our MSMEs through the Academy. Joining us here on stage right now to share with us a bit more about the revitalized ASEAN SME Academy, I would like to welcome the Manager for Indonesia of SME Initiatives of the US-ASEAN Business Council. We have Ms. Nugraheni Utami. Joined by the Director of IT and Digital Products for US-ASEAN Business Council, we have Patrick Khan. As both Patrick and Utami join us here on stage, we'll be highlighting the importance of capacity building, particularly for the ASEAN SMEs. I know it was discussed earlier, but now it's time to really dive deeper to better understand how we can help them through the ASEAN SME Academies. And at the same time, we are also joined virtually by our partner companies, as this is a public-private partnership to help reskill and upskill our ASEAN MSMEs. We have the Vice President, Head of Government Engagement for Southeast Asia and International Affairs for Visa. We have Ms. Alexandra Stewart joining us virtually. Let's give a round of applause, please. And also joining her as well, we have the Head of AWS Training and Certification for ASEAN, Mr. Emmanuel Pilay. And before we begin with today's session, I think it's very important for all of us to better appreciate our clients, our ASEAN MSMEs. So please watch this short video.
ASEAN Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, MSMEs, are a very heterogeneous group of firms, from micro firms to high-growth startups to small family businesses. They represent between 97 to 99% of firms and between 60 to 80% of total employment across Southeast Asia countries. They are undeniably the backbone of the region's economy. The region suffered hard from the COVID-19 pandemic, but the one who got hit harder is definitely MSMEs. Unlike larger companies, MSMEs face greater financial constraints, such as limited capital, capacity, and resources. Despite the hurdles, ASEAN is one of the fastest-growing digital economies in the world. The rapid digitalization in society has shifted people's behaviors and lifting business through digital tools and sphere. The ASEAN SME Academy has been providing resources for these ASEAN MSMEs since 2016. The platform aims to leverage and develop ASEAN small businesses through its various courses from the top U.S. companies. Due to constant dynamics resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic, trade agreements, to disruption from digitalization, ASEAN MSMEs face various roadblocks in operating their business. Thus, current website needs a major upgrade to be able to deliver necessary, relevant materials and a supportive online learning platform for the ASEAN MSMEs in this digital age. And now, we proudly introduce you, the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. The ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 will bring MSMEs across ASEAN with more valuable and insightful courses in a brand new, sophisticated platform. Available across all devices, including mobile phones and tablets, a brand new experience awaits learners who will be able to easily browse the ASEAN SME Academy in an intuitive and user-friendly interface, and enroll in courses which are most relevant to them, in 3 local languages at their own time and pace. Learners will also be able to access a robust collection of content, including webinars, written content, and podcasts. Also featured in the new ASEAN SME Academy, a curated tab which will be focused on for COVID-19 recovery module. This curated module will provide extensive resources and curriculum to help ASEAN MSMEs further. Tying it all together, We hope to bring together MSMEs in the digital world through our community features, allowing learners to interact with each other and with ASEAN SME facilitators. When the MSMEs completed their learnings, they are able to collect their own certifications from the website. The learners can also share what they're learning and get from the ASEAN SME Academy to their own network. We encourage you to go visit and enroll the courses on the new ASEAN SME Academy website now. If you already registered to the old ASEAN SME Academy, make sure to check your email from the organizer and click the Activate button. After you activate it, just sign in directly to the ASEAN SME Academy website, so you don't have to create a new account for this. The registration process for the new user is also simple and direct. Just fill in all your details and then click Sign Up. You are now part of the ASEAN SME Academy community with a few clicks. What are you waiting for? Go visit ASEANSMEacademy.org.
And just like the video said, what are you waiting for? Please participate right now, the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. And as we begin with our revitalized ASEAN SME Academy 2.0, I'd like to bring the discussion first to Utami. Utami, can you please share with us again how to access the ASEAN SME Academy and what we can find on our upgraded website? I know it was discussed in the video, but please do elaborate in more detail, Utami.
Thank you so much, RG. So for everyone that watching this interview, so you can access the ASEAN SME Academy to the new website. For those already registered yourself, you still can use the old URL website, the ASEAN-SME-academy.org. And then the new website is, you can see is have different visual from the old website. We also adding a new feature, which is adding more ASEAN languages available to ASEAN SME Academy. We hope by the end of April, we can have Bahasa Indonesia, Thai, and Vietnamese available to the website. So we hope we can reach more SME, can access to the website, and not only using the English to access the courses. And then for those already joining the website and joining the courses, when you complete, you also can do self-certificate to the website. The website itself is not only just accessible for those joining through laptop or computer, you also can access it through your mobile phone. So it's very easy for everyone.
Thanks so much. And Patrick, being our IT director for the ASEAN SME Academy, just what does many of these people, MSMEs, despite this pandemic, there's a large spectrum of people who are literate, IT literate, and IT not too literate. Will they be able to maneuver and go through the website as well?
Right. Thanks, RJ. We found that over time that there really was an uptake in terms of the usage of the website, especially in the pandemic, and I think that really speaks volumes in terms of as you say, the literacy, or at least or how savvy a lot of these small, medium business owners have turned out to be. And we really focused in terms of the redevelopment of this platform and looked at very closely at the user behavior. We found that the most important thing in terms of what we provide on the interface is not just accessibility. Tami mentioned that we now will now support 4 languages rather than 1. But also in terms of the multi-platform utilization of the website. So it can be used across mobile phones, tablets, but at the same time, the website is light and really is able to highlight the assortment of content that we're able to gather from our member companies in US-ASEAN and also the various content partners that we have gathered through the other partners of the SME Academy.
Talking about our member companies or our partners over here, like you said, it's a public-private partnership. We're very happy to our friends from both Visa and AWS here right now. Can you help us better understand the importance of working together with our private partners in helping capacity build our small MSMEs? What's the importance of securing the certification, of them helping in the curriculum? Utami.
Yeah, thank you, RG. So for those that are accessing the courses at ASEAN SME Academy, by having the certification, it's showing that you already complete the courses. It's showing that you already acquired the knowledge from the courses from our private sectors. And the participation from our private sectors is commitment to the ASEAN SMEs to support the small business, to leverage your business, and able to combat internationally and globally. So I think that's the answer.
Well, thanks so much for that, Utami. And speaking of our partners, I first like to speak to our good friends from Visa, Miss Alex Stewart over here. Alex, I'm sure that as you became a partner together with the ASEAN SME Academy, you did see what type of skills particularly our MSMEs needed to be able to become more inclusive and to be able to compete in this digital economy. What are the specific skill sets that you're seeing is needed by our MSMEs to compete right now in this world of accelerated digital transformation and the new normal?
A very good morning to everyone. I'm delighted to be here to share a little bit about how Visa is enabling small businesses across ASEAN. So I think, as been stated throughout the morning, small businesses are the backbone of our economy, particularly in ASEAN, and we know that they were very hard hit by the pandemic. So in 2020, Visa made a global commitment to digitally enabling 50 million SMEs, 10 million of which would be in the Asia-Pacific region. So to accomplish this goal, as a payment network, we're rolling out innovative new products through our clients and network to enable small business to both make and receive digital payments, but we also recognize the fundamental importance of empowering consumers and merchants through education so that they actually have the know-how to actually benefit from these tools and products. So RJ, to your question in terms of what skills are needed, and as part of this commitment, Visa launched Practical Business Skills. So this is a platform or a curriculum which offers free educational resources and interactive tools to help business owners around the globe manage, grow, and run their businesses. So we've rolled out practical business schools across the region via various partnerships, including with the US-ASEAN Business Council and the SME Academy.
Thank you so much, Alex. And again, I'd like to bring the same question to our good friends from AWS, Mr. Pilia over here. Mr. Pilia, I'm sure that you're also seeing with the expansion of many businesses, it's the first time that many MSMEs are encountering the need to use AWS and to understand how to better use AWS in growing and scaling their businesses. What are the skills that you see are needed by our MSMEs right now? And what is AWS trying to do to bridge that skill gap?
Well, good morning. I'm delighted to be here. Thanks for having us here from AWS, Amazon Web Services. And also congratulations on your launch of SME Academy 2.0. I want to first start out by acknowledging how difficult the pandemic has been across the world. Our customers, our partners, and the broader communities, and Amazon's businesses, including AWS, have been looking for ways to assist and collaborate during this very difficult time. So in 2020, we made a public statement that we were investing hundreds of millions of dollars to train and upskill 29 individuals across the world globally with free access to cloud training. And so a portion of that, of course, falls within the ASEAN region. The other component of this is we've launched studies to understand where the skills gap exists in the ASEAN region as well as the Asia Pacific region. A study that came out earlier this year, the Alpha Beta Economic Research, shows that nearly 86 million individuals will require digital skills over the next year just to keep pace with the digital transformation that's occurred due to the pandemic, the accelerated digital transformation. We're also finding that over 90% of employers, particularly in the SMB or the SME customer segment, are recognizing the need for skills within their employees and also skills to digitally transform their businesses. So one of the ways we are assisting is providing access to free on-demand digital skills training and particularly cloud skills, because one of the dirts that we see is a deficit in cloud skills expertise. And within that, the study that I just mentioned has identified cloud skills, 3 different types of cloud skills within the top 5 skills gap that employees as well as employers are acknowledging. The first is just being able to utilize cloud-based tools like software as a service. The second is cybersecurity. And then the fourth or the fifth is essentially understanding how to migrate from on-premises infrastructure to cloud infrastructure. And so these cloud skills, we today are providing digitally trained digital modules And we offer over 500 digital modules in different languages, including Bahasa Indonesia. We have it in Vietnamese, in Mandarin, in Japanese, and Korean. And so, I would really encourage any SMB that has individuals and want to get access to these training modules to go to our website, go to your website, and to be able to access it.
Now, Mr. Pilia, having said that, I wanted to just ask, they can secure, especially for the MSMEs who will be going through the modules of AWS in the ASEAN SME Academy, they will receive a certificate, right, or certification which they can use not just here in their respective countries, but it will be recognized globally. Is that understanding correct?
So AWS does offer globally recognized industry accredited certifications, but it's an exam that they have to sit for. So the training helps prepare them for these certifications, and these certifications build confidence, credibility, and they're globally recognized. And so when you have an employer connecting with an employee who may not be from the local country, they can have some confidence in hiring that employee because they come with the requisite cloud skills to build effectively on cloud.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pillai. Having said that, I want to go back to our good friends from the ASEAN SME Academy here on stage. We did say it's a public-private partnership. And as you can see, we kept on going back to the themes of, we're all helping them survive amidst this global pandemic. We're reskilling, we're upskilling people here right now during this pandemic. What are the most important skills that you think that those watching us here right now, among the MSMEs, what skills would you like them to upskill and reskill as they prepare to grow their businesses in this now normal situation? Both Utami and Patrick, please feel free to field that question.
So I think based on our experience, because USABC is not only just managing the ASEAN SME Academy, we also having a training capacity building program in each country in ASEAN. And based on our interaction with the SME during the training session, especially after the COVID-19, I think what they really need is like the eagerness to learn, because like every time there's always new knowledge, there's always new way to creating a business. And USABC and its members committed to support them by always providing the knowledge for them based on our members' companies' competitiveness. So Patrick, maybe you can add.
Yeah, and I think one thing to consider for a lot of these SMEs is that aside from COVID-19 being a crisis, it's also a very significant opportunity. And what we've seen, for example, is the uptick in e-commerce. For a Philippine context specifically, there's a big opportunity in terms of business owners being able to upskill and really access the global marketplace. The SME Academy has various courses, and through, for example, our partners in Visa, able to offer fantastic payments options or payment suites, or AWS in terms of being able to provide the infrastructure for these e-commerce experiences, for example. I think that's certainly something to consider. So on our website, for example, we have a specific tab on technology where users or business owners might be able to understand how to build up their own e-commerce sites. And there's quite a few options out there that can be used in terms of launching their own platforms and really be able to not just have this as a downturn, but also something for them to reconsider and really re-engineer their own sales channels and how they sell their products and bring them globally. So
really prepare them for reskill and really for the new digital economy coming up. And having said that, I'm going to go back to both our friends from Visa and AWS. If you don't mind, there are many MSMEs watching us here right now. So first to Alex over here, what do you also see as the emerging opportunities as they, for our MSMEs, let's say, for example, once they are able to upload the skill set that they've gained from Visa, what do you think as the skill set, with those new skill sets, with those new practical business skills, and also with using your payment gateway facilities, what opportunities do you see emerging for our small ASEAN businesses?
Thanks, RJ. So maybe I can share a little bit more about, our vision, our greater vision. So Visa believes that economies that include everyone, everywhere, uplift everyone, everywhere, and we're committed to contributing to an inclusive and sustainable world. So Visa, as an engine of commerce, we continue to work to bring the world back to business and to do our part in building a society where everyone, everywhere has the access and tools to meaningfully benefit from an interconnected global economy. So let me just do a quick double click in terms of practical business skills. I mentioned before, it's a curriculum available online It's available both through the ASEAN SME Academy, but also can be accessed externally via just practicalbusinessskills.org. There are over 50 online learning modules, kind of grouped into 4 key areas. One is around starting a business. So with tools for prospective entrepreneurs to understand and evaluate the steps involved in opening, financing, running, and marketing a company. Then managing the business. So with information on day-to-day business management, including templates for financial and cash flow analysis and resources to promote sales. Then in terms of building and growing the business, includes tactics on how businesses can drive into a more profitable long-term success. It includes videos, over 50 videos that track across all of these topics. And it also includes a number of templates and calculators that small businesses can use, again, completely free and product agnostic. So I think taking advantage of all of these tools that are available online, small businesses that can pivot to digital stand to gain tremendously. A lot of Visa research shows that small businesses that pivoted to digital in the pandemic were the most resilient. So we have to do whatever we can to make sure that everybody can follow, so we don't leave any segments or small businesses behind. Yeah. So that's a little bit about our larger vision.
I love the larger vision, and thank you so much on behalf of many. I myself own several MSMEs, and we're very thankful for the assistance of the practical business skills to help, of course, with a pivot towards going on e-commerce or towards digital transformation. To Emmanuel over here, Emmanuel, what is also not just the vision, but what are the opportunities that lie for many of our MSMEs who start to take on going to the cloud or leveraging the cloud in growing their businesses? What is in store for these businesses so that they can see right now the clear path towards growth?
Great question. I'd start with this, right? Integral part of business transformation is having access to the right digital tools. But even with the best toolkits, it can have very little impact on the organization, on the SME, if there's not a culture of innovation and there's a fostering of that culture of innovation. And this is where, once again, that AWS comes in and collaborates with SMEs and SMBs. The first is any SMB that's exploring cloud. The AWS offers free tier for customers to test out services with some limited usage on new services and so on, which then provides an ability for them to test and innovate and iterate for new products for their customers. The other way that we are able to provide this is a good example, I would say, is Java Post in Indonesia, which is the online version of the largest newspaper in circulation in Indonesia. And during the pandemic, what they were observing was their servers and their websites sort of having outages because of peaks, typically with news breaks or viral news that was proceeding, and then there was a high percentage of users. And so they decided to move forward and experiment with a cloud-based website and tested and chose AWS. And what they then discovered was once they were able to move there, they now had the advantage of cloud in terms of elasticity and agility. And so anytime there were any peaks, the website was able to handle that demand. But also, more importantly, they were able to use their valuable IT resources to innovate on behalf of their customers and now move them away from the undifferentiated heavy lifting of data servers, maintenance, and so on. So as more and more SMBs adopt cloud, and then we train them up and provide them with the right skill sets to be able to innovate and test and iterate with different cloud services, what you can now see is an SMB can now innovate, develop more products in a faster pace, and then also go to market at a faster pace for their customers. And I think that's going to be the next stage for SMBs to be able to move past the pandemic and develop and move forward into digital transformation.
Thank you so much for helping us pave the way forward for our MSMEs, both our friends from AWS and for Visa. And as we begin to wrap up our discussion right now, as we upskill and reskill our ASEAN MSMEs, I just want to go back for the last few words coming from our good friends from the ASEAN SME Academy. There are many MSMEs watching us right now from all across the region. In your own studies, in your own experience working together with them, what would be your few key points of advice for them for them to be able to, grow their businesses amidst this pandemic, also leveraging ASEAN MSMEs. What is your, I would say, your business or life lesson for our ASEAN MSMEs right now? Patrick, please go ahead.
Yeah, and just to share, I'm also an MSME owner like yourself, and what I've really found that is really useful throughout this pandemic. There's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of just new things, new situations we have to deal with. I think just that consistent curiosity is very useful, and having all this content available, not just through the ASEAN SME Academy, but just really enriching resources online through our partners from Visa, AWS. I think really being driven by a sense of curiosity and really openness, and openness in terms of, you have to re-engineer your business model, you have to figure out new ways to do things. I think that would really be the key point that I would share.
Thanks so much. Consistent curiosity. Thank you so much, Patrick Khan. Utami. Some advice. Your advice.
Yeah. I think eager to learn, I already mentioned that, and then always networking with other businesses, because you never know who will help you and who to help. And in the future, I think the sense of community is really important, especially in this hardship time like now. So I think that's my suggestion and a lesson learned that I have during managing this program.
That's right. It's that sense of the ASEAN community. I understand from the ASEAN, from the website, you can actually network with different people from across the region. Is that correct, Utami?
Correct.
Fantastic. So like they say, your network is your net worth. And with those words, I'd like to invite Alex, your closing words. What advice would you like to leave with our MSMEs across the region?
Be curious, be like a sponge, avail of all the tools available. The ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 is a wonderful resource. If you haven't signed up already, I urge you to give it a try. So just thank you and good luck.
Thank you so much again for your support, our good friends from Visa. Again, constant curiosity. And finally, Mr. Emmanuel Pilay of AWS. Your parting words for our MSMEs who want to be able to grow amidst this new normal.
I would say it's been said well before as well, which is embrace the culture of learning and continuous learning. Be open to trying out different tools, and there's plenty of tools that AWS offers that are a light lift in terms of the fact that they're free initially and will be able to give you some option to test and iterate. And I'd say, especially with your employees are going to be your major asset, and they are going to be the ones that are going to drive your business into the future. So ensure that they have access to learning platforms, both free as well as classroom-based learning, which will then you will see the ROI down the road for sure.
And again, thank you so much to our partner companies over here, the ASEAN MSE Academy. A round of applause, please, again, for Emmanuel Pilay of Amazon, of AWS Training Certification, of Alexander Stewart, Vice President for Visa, and of course, our good friends from ASEAN SME Academy. Thank you so much to Utami and to Patrick. Let's give them one more round of applause, please. Thank you so much for all your support. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, as we move on quickly, as we celebrate the revitalization of our ASEAN SME Academy, may I please invite our Mission Director for the Regional Development Mission for Asia of USAID for a few more words as we close our session here today. Please welcome back Dr. Stephen Olive.
Thank you so much, and good morning, everyone. Secretary General Datu Lim Jakoy, Undersecretary Rafaelita Aldaba, Secretary General Datu Suryani Bintu Datu Ahmad, Chargé d'Affaires Kate Rebholz, Jose Marie A. Concepcion III, Ambassador Ted Osias, Ambassador Mike McCulloch, the Philippine Trade Center and Department of Trade and Industry colleagues, distinguished speakers and participants. It is great to be here with you today on behalf of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and thank you, Mr. Ledesma, for that introduction. As we draw near to the end of this important launch of the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0, I would first like to express my very sincere thanks to the US-ASEAN Business Council for making this event possible. I had the pleasure to participate alongside the US-ASEAN Business Council in our launch of their Women's Economic Empowerment in ASEAN policy paper on March 8th of this year. So I'm thrilled to speak again today. And as Chargée d'Affaires Rebholz noted during her opening remarks, the US government is more committed than ever to continuing expanding our long-standing cooperation with ASEAN and the US-ASEAN Business Council on this very important initiative. For years, we have supported the growth of small and medium businesses across Southeast Asia. It is especially great to hear from our partners here today who have all played a part in helping the ASEAN SME Academy thrive. In 2014, USAID and the US-ASEAN Business Council launched the US-ASEAN Business Alliance for competitive small and medium-sized enterprises. Since its founding, it has trained more than 20,000 SMEs in all 10 ASEAN member states, and USAID is very proud to be part of this success. Then in 2016, the successful endeavor expanded its reach with the launch for an online training platform, the first of its kind in the region, called the ASEAN SME Academy. And the Academy's intended mission was to deliver free, centralized, online access to training resources and support for ASEAN SMEs to improve their business and digital skills. But this success story doesn't end there. And in fact, by 2018, the SME Academy had become such an invaluable resource that we began to develop a solution to sustainably continue its legacy by officially handing it over to ASEAN. The ASEAN Coordinating Committee on Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises, with the support of the Philippines Department of Trade and Industry, Philippines Trade and Training Center, and the US-ASEAN Business Council, continued to grow and enhance the SME Academy to deliver top-notch programming for SMEs in the region. As you know, USAID is committed to supporting ASEAN's recovery from COVID-19 pandemic, especially through support to the SMEs, which comprise much of the region's economy. In some ASEAN member states, SMEs account for as much as 53% of GDP. We know that compared to large businesses, SME businesses have been heavily affected by the pandemic, as our earlier speakers have mentioned. And women-owned small businesses have been hit even harder. So SMEs have faced challenges with access to financing, lack of business management and digital skills, reduced ability to invest in technologies, and limited access to markets. By addressing these issues, these businesses can improve productivity, create more jobs, and generate economic growth. USAID is pleased to renew its support through the newly revamped ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. Now, more than ever, it is crucial to equip ASEAN SMEs with the necessary training, tools, and resources needed to recover from the pandemic and pave the way for a more prosperous Indo-Pacific. This transformed platform will provide rich, inclusive, and engaging learning opportunities for SMEs throughout the ASEAN region. As you have seen today, the new website is scalable, usable, content-rich, and accessible, and will serve as a valuable tool for SME businesses. Together with US-ASEAN's Council, USAID will deliver a new, dedicated COVID-19 section of the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0 later this year. It will feature relevant courses, webinars, and other resources to help businesses adapt and recover. And we very much look forward to sharing it with you, as well as getting your feedback on how helpful it is. So on behalf of USAID's Regional Development Mission for Asia, I would like to again thank the Philippine Department of Trade and Industry, the Philippine Trade Training Center, and the US-ASEAN Business Council, the ASEAN Coordinating Committee on Micro, Small, and Medium-Sized Enterprises, and the ASEAN Secretariat for making it possible for us to gather here today and for continuing the journey with us as partners. I am extremely confident that the ASEAN Small and Micro Enterprise Academy 2.0 will deliver results that bolster economic recovery and carry forward a successful legacy for MSMEs across the region. Thank you very much for your participation. And now back to you, Mr. Ledesma.
And again, thank you so much, Dr. Stephen Olive, and mabuhay to you, and thank you so much for the renewed support of the USAID for the ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. And finally, as we begin to close off today's relaunch of ASEAN Academy 2.0, we're very happy to welcome back on stage the individuals helping us power forward with ASEAN SME Academy 2.0. Please welcome the Senior Vice President and Regional Managing Director of the US-ASEAN Business Council. Please welcome back Ambassador Michael Michalak. One more round of applause, please.
Thanks again, RJ. And once again, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you to our distinguished guests, all the participants, and our wonderful audience who are still in attendance at this event. I'm delighted that the new ASEAN SME Academy is officially launched and accessible to everyone. Now, I hope you've already opened up your handphones, gone to the website, and activated your accounts. That's very important. If you haven't done so, do it now. It's easy. And I really would like now to again thank one more time Secretary General Lim Jak-hoi, Dato Suryani, the chair of ACCME, Mr. Joy Concepcion, ASEAN BAC of the Philippines, and the Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship and founder of Go Negocio in the Philippines. Kate Rebholz of the U.S. Mission to ASEAN, my own colleague and friend and boss, Ted Osius, the Ambassador Ted Osius, the President and CEO of the US-ASEAN Business Council. And of course, I want to extend special and warm appreciation to my colleagues Undersecretary Fita Aldaba and Director General Nelly from the Trade and PTTC. Also, I also want to thank Steve Olive, who had the excellent closing remarks that we just heard, the Mission Director for the Regional Development Mission for Asia, USAID. You know, we also had a great dialogue session, I think, with our member companies Visa, AWS, and Google, and my colleague Utami and Patrick, who shared with you the details of the upgraded website and how to actually use it. We also heard about how important capacity building is for ASEAN SMEs, and the USABC and its member companies are very proud to lead the effort to continue this kind of support, and this is part of our commitment to continue to empower ASEAN SMEs. Lastly, I'd like to thank our great government counterparts, USAID, the U.S. Mission to ASEAN, the Philippine Department of Trade and Industry under the Bureau of SME Development, the Philippine Trade and Training Center, the ASEAN Coordinating Committee on MSMEs, and the ASEAN Secretariat for the great collaboration and cooperation that they have had to make this event a success. This Academy's redevelopment project and launch event certainly would not have been successful without your continued and extensive support. And last, but most important of all, I would like to thank all of you, the audience, for your participation in today's event and your participation in the further use of the ACCME ASEAN Academy. We hope that you're going to make the most of this new website and this new platform for your learning process in growing your business, and hopefully it will help you to rebuild ASEAN's economy going forward from the pandemic. As we mentioned during the dialogue session, in addition to the Academy's online courses on this marvelous newly rebuilt platform, we also are going to continue our in-country live training activities that aim to enhance ASEAN SME's learning experience further. As always, we look forward to collaborating with the ASEAN member states in organizing these sessions and in having you, the ASEAN SMEs, join us in this continuing event. We hope that you will participate in the several exciting initiatives upcoming from our partners. First of all, the COVID-19 Recovery Module tab that will be launched in Q3 of this year, led by USAID, and the ASEAN SME Academy Facilitators Training that will be led by DTI and PTTC. So in closing, please do not hesitate to give your feedback or share your experience with us in learning through your experience in learning through the ASEAN Academy platform, so you can help us to improve the platform even further and make it even better. Please fill out the feedback form. Yes, we did send you a feedback form, which is in the chat box, and mail it in a little bit later on. So once again, I want to thank everyone for your support, and I hope to see you soon in another great ASEAN US ABC SME event. Thanks, and have a great day.
Again, thank you so much, Ambassador Mike. And I'm truly looking forward to seeing the COVID-19 recovery program that we'll be seeing on the ASEAN SME Academy website. Again, for those listening here right now, if you haven't signed up or you haven't registered just yet, now is the opportunity to please do so. We've just relaunched here today. Again, the website is www.asean-sme-academy.org. Again, that is www.asean-sme-academy.org. Again, on behalf of our good friends from the ASEAN SME Academy, my name is RJ Ledesma. Looking forward to a bright future for our ASEAN MSMEs, and mabuhay to all of you. Just reminding our audience members to please fill up our feedback form. You'll be presented a link on our screen and our chat box right after this one. Again, my name is RJ Ledesma. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po. We will be inviting the members, Utami, you'll be inviting the members, our dignitaries here on stage for a photo opportunity.